So lately, we've all been thinking and talking a lot about hate, and hate that leads to unjust murder. And actually, the Apostle John in our 5-minute devotional today talks about that and talks about how we respond. So let's read. This is 1 John chapter 3, verses 11 through 17. This is the message you have heard from the beginning. We should love one another. We must not be like Cain, who belonged to the evil one and killed his brother. And why did he kill him? Because Cain had been doing what was evil, and his brother had been doing what was righteous. So don't be surprised, dear brothers and sisters, if the world hates you. If we love our Christian brothers and sisters, it proves that we have passed from death to life. But a person who has no love is still dead. Anyone who hates another brother or sister is really a murderer at heart. And you know that murderers don't have eternal life within them. We know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us, so we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters. If someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in that person? So we start off this passage talking about Cain and Abel, and I know that at different groups, both in Compline and on Wednesday nights, we've talked about Cain and Abel. If you don't remember who they are, they're way back in the beginning of Genesis. You can go and look it up. But they were brothers, and one of them killed the other one. It's like the first murder ever. And what John is talking about, he says that murders come out of hate. And why did Cain hate his brother? He actually hated him because he was doing better, because he was righteous, because he was maybe jealous. I mean, we don't know inside their minds, but John's pulling this together and saying, well, where did these evil things come from, like murder and hate? They come out of the heart. It's from the heart that all this stuff starts. It's from the heart that unjust murders come from. And so we need to check our hearts if we want to have any hope at solving murder and hate. So one of the things that it's easy to respond to hate with is more hate. To see something that's bad and to hate in response. But what John says is anyone who hates a brother or sister is really a murderer. And a person who has no love is still dead. So if our response is hate, we're still dead. And we don't have fully an understanding in us of who Jesus was and what he did. So John goes on to talk about we know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So he's saying that the response to hate is not more hate, but self-sacrificial love. And he gives a smallish example. If you see someone who doesn't have enough and you have more than enough, and it's just going to be an inconvenience for you to help out another person and you still don't want to do it, maybe you don't really know what love is yet. It's easy to act loving or be loving or giving when it's no inconvenience. But if it costs us something, that's when you start to see what real love is. And so this is where John points back to Jesus giving the ultimate example of self-sacrificial real love. And saying that we know what that real love is because Jesus gave up not just what was a convenience for him or just not what he had extra, but he gave up his life for us. And that's what real love is. So, I pray that all of us, me included, would grow in that self-sacrificial love. And knowing that that's what we need. And that's how we follow the one who saved us through his own self-sacrificial love.